The Quench, where you ask, we answer.
Have you ever gone through social media and met these memes that attack you personally? If you're born from the year this to the year that, you should have your firstborn child. If you are born from the year this to the year that, you should be driving your own car. If you are born from, if you graduated from this university, you should have done this and this and this. And they call you out on the milestones that you have not achieved or are near achieving. You have no idea even how to get to those milestones. You're stuck at a point where you don't understand where your next step is. Now you can imagine if it happens that you were promised that if this happens, this will happen, and then this will happen. Yet this has happened, then this has happened, but this has not happened. Things are not adding up as they should. So you go through a depressive state, and that is what we're talking about today. We're talking about postgraduate depression. Now, I had said before we went for the break that we'll be talking about the causes of postgraduate depression. Now, I'm going to give you one very common one, comparison. You have friends that do forex trading. They sleep one day, they are broke. The next day, they are making 100,000. Is it just me? Is it just me? I do not understand the first thing about trading. I am going to be honest with you. Now, I understand that it is a technical thing, and there are people who have taken their time to learn it. But the pressure that comes when they are making their hundreds of thousands, and you're seated at home figuring out who is going to make tea in the morning. When you're seated at home and the neighbors are praying for you, you can imagine the pressure. Let's talk about some other causes. Yes, I can see a hand over there. Tell us, what do you think are the causes of postgraduate depression? We said it is gradual, happens gradually. What are those things that push it to the depressive states?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Dennis Muremi. And the first thing I can say, it's too much expectations. And the too much expectations are the mother to all sorts of depressive states that we are going through. They are the mother to all sorts of disappointments that we go through. Because the time that I am coming out, I'm expecting to move out. I am expecting to buy my own car. And when you check, even your father started somewhere. When you check, the people who are in front of you, they started somewhere. But for us, we want it in a blink of a minute.
Microwave success.
Yeah, that is one of the things that is causing all these depression.
Let's get another person telling us. Pass it to the gentleman in front of you. Tell us, what do you think pushes you to depressive states when you're going through postgraduate?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Titus. And I would like to answer that question with, I think, my own experience. I was supposed to have graduated, I think, 6 months ago. Yeah. And due to some unavoidable circumstances, I wasn't able to graduate like that 6 months ago. Lakini kila kitu iko sawa, like I've finished my coursework. So I'm attached somewhere, a job and everything. And I decided, you know what? Because I haven't graduated and not all of it is my fault. It's okay. Let me continue up here as an intern for quite a while as I build my skills and all that. And I can also apply for some jobs.
Yes.
And yeah, so I apply for jobs. Some, pretty good and big companies, some UN and all that. And surprisingly, my application is considered. Actually, almost all the companies I apply for jobs, my application is considered. Right? And it's a motivating factor because those I was with in class have already graduated, lakini we both apply, alafu I'm the one who's being called for an interview. But then you go to the first stage of the interview, you pass, then you do an aptitude test, you pass, then there's that either the third or the final stage. You know, that is how companies do their interviews nowadays. So on the third or final stage, uko hapo hivyo, you've been told to It's more like, explaining what you studied and everything, how you're going to change the company and everything. And they simply ask you if you have graduated.
And snap goes like that.
Yeah. As in, they normally say, learn to say no. That is the...
That is not that. That is a bit just
that is the...
brutal.
Yeah, that is the one time your silence, the silence that mtu anakuangalia anakuambia your silence is loud. You just don't want to say no because, man, I'm here.
You're this close.
Yeah, you're this close. You're this close. And yes, you're good. You have a good degree. It's not competitive. Iko sawa. Check you went to, and all that. Like at the end of the day, you go back to your place and you're like, wow,
I was this close.
Okay. Alafu unapata maybe it's the third time that is happening. Because personally, imenifanyikia, I think almost 5 times. Okay. 5 times, like since my graduation day when I was supposed to graduate last year. So the months that followed after that month, I've been having, I think, chances with good companies that I think pay well and everything. And the 5th time is kind of very depressing. It is very, very, very depressing, and I don't even think I have words that can express or explain, or I'm in a state of nothing and beingness. Just in between there. It's like
it's like
you have
a limbo of some sort.
Yeah, you have the potential to be something great, and at the same time you feel like you're nothing because of just one simple thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's just get another person's view before we get to the panelists. First, to the gentleman here in the front. We are sorry for that experience, but yes, that is another factor that really frustrates. It's like you are this close, okay? You go for interviews, you buy a suit. I think I bought a suit. You buy a suit, you go for that interview, you kill it, and then they ask you a very weird question like, what does IBC stand for? And you forget because... What does IBC stand for? You forget what I stands for, and messes up the whole thing. You're this close. So continuous frustrations, continuous rejects from jobs, continuous rejects from maybe graduate programs that you're applying for. All of those things put you to the point where you're asking yourself, will things ever be okay? Yes?
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Martin. I joined those who are the fears. I think in addition to the personal expectations, there's also the experiences of those who have been ahead of us. When they share their experiences of how they have tackled it, sometimes it creates that fears.
Yeah.
And also in addition to the society, there's also the issue of relationships. They expect to ukitoka campus, you have a degree, and you also maybe have a person. You see? So there's the society. And now there is also the experiences. Yes, they are right. The experiences, they are right because we are running from them. And the postgraduate is true. But there is a way we may take it as being pessimistic.
Yes,
yeah,
you're scared. You don't.
It is Francis, and the fears spring up.
Yeah, that is very true. When we hear these stories, essentially when we're students, we tend to get afraid of finishing school. So that your last week as a student is the most frustrating week of your life. You don't want to leave your friends. You don't want to leave your lecturers. You even say hi to your lecturers and you never liked them. The whole circle of things. Let's get to our panelists. And I want to start with you. Yes. And I want you to tell us, what do you think? And give us in some point form, what are the causes of depression? Yeah. Adding up to what I said, adding up to what our audience said, and anything else you might have as a psychologist.
First of all, just in point forms, ndio. Tunasemanga lack of experience for young people. That's the biggest factor.
You're going to have to explain that one.
Have you ever gone to interviews and they ask you, what's your experience?
Yeah. Where are you getting it? Do people want 2 years of experience to become an internship? I just kept...
Yes, most of the jobs that people, even young people, say what wanatafuta, even for psychologists, utapata they advertise, ndio. But what do they say? 2 to 3 years of experience. A young person umetoka shule, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, umefurahia sana after graduating, and then you find such a post. Then imekuja mzuri, all your qualifications uko nayo, but now what does it ask?
2-3 years. I don't know what you expected me to be experiencing.
Yes.
Or was it suffering in campus? I don't know which one.
2 to 3 years of experience. Another one, volunteering without cash.
Hey.
Ndio umeingia, personally wengi wanatoka, sindio? Ukimaliza campus, like uko na uncles, uko na nani, wengine hata kanisa inawasponsor. But then umetoka huku nje, and 50% of the people when wanatoka campus, where do you go first?
You volunteer.
You go home kwanza.
Now you should have said it.
Unaenda nyumbani, sindio? Most of them you start from home, sindio? And nyumbani there's a lot of kitu inaitwa financial constraint.
Yes.
Sindio? Umefika hivi hakuna pesa kabisa. Like hata utaweza uliza their parents who are even mean, they will tell you pesa zote tulitumia kukusomesha.
So sometimes it's not even being mean. It's meant to be the truth.
Yeah, unaona.
They sold a cow. There's no milk now. The milk is supposed to come from you. They're not producing milk. Please continue.
Yes. So there is no cash, sindio? So most of the works, they expect you to go out, sindio? Ndio umefika hata majirani huko, and they were saying there are 2 factors, both external and internal, sindio?
Yes.
And the external mingi zinakuja even from pressures za majirani.
Yes.
Wakipita ni kuongelea watu vile wakisema, hey,
asking you which degree you give a big name
degree, and then ukipita huku nje, people will always say, hey, na kweli yenyewe masomo siku hizi haifanyi nini, haina kazi, haina pesa, kama mtoto anani, like you are used as an example. Yes, that's one. Unamaliza, some people expect you to volunteer na hauna pesa hata ya kujisustain, walk long distances na nini, and you expected ukimaliza shule, what will you find? An office. Unazunguka hivi na ile seat yao hivi ukidandia wifi, sindio?
Yes. YouTubing all day long.
Yes, ukidandia wifi.
They lied to us.
There's even that, or even there are works that haukuwa expect, starting somewhere that you really didn't expect. Sometime unasikia umeto supermarket kusimama hapo, and then imagining the 4 years yenye ulikuwa unaamka saa 7 ya usiku kusomea hiyo cut, unaitwa kuanzia supermarket sijui 6,000, 8,000 or even 10,000.
I don't think it's more of the money. It's more of there are those things you told yourself, I would never. Some of us worked in campus, Some of us sold things. I personally sold bread. I told myself I would never. Imagine I have finished and then I am not. It's being me. Can never be me has now become me. That is a very important factor. Yes, please continue.
Yes. Also, the other thing, the expectation from these people, kuna ile in terms of tukisema the financial constraint, this big expectation that people have towards you, especially labda umeingia with these small works, kuna internships, ndio, very low paying, below even, or even zero. Then people see you in a TV show. You may remember my first mini kingeingia, ninaenda radio shows.
I feel attacked, but it's fine.
Ninaenda radio shows, kidogo hivi nimeitwa show MBCI, kidogo hivi kuna raushwa show, kuna nini, unaenda, people see you in Facebook and every other places, and people will go inside your inboxes. Manze bro, kwanza wenye mlisoma nao, manze bro, hata wakuitishingi mingi, wanakuitishanga hebu nisaidie chuani, ama ni okole tu so moja. Ukakaa kidogo hivi, unasikia groups juu best yako anaoa, amekuuma hapo kama treasure.
And they have decided you will give 5,000.
You will give 5,000. Unaenda mahali kwa show mzuri wanakuita daktari. Ukipita nyumbani umewekwa kwa group huko kwa matanga. They expect you to give something. Ukipita like there is a lot of people wanakuwekea hapo. Nyumbani they will always be there asking you, by the way, si utume kitu. So far uko wapi? Unaona, like there is a lot of things that they ask you. Me remember walikuwa naulizanga na hiyo kazi ulipata wamekuongezea kitu. Every time every person will ask
You're
you,
not being paid.
umeongezewa kitu, you know. There will always be those questions.
I'm going to have to stop so I can allow Maggie to tell us, what do you think are the causes in point form? Yes, I said in point form, but history is quite interesting. Yes,
we're gonna also look like what you've said about friends. You get into Instagram and you see, like, you know, my friend, you see I have a friend who is already telling us how she's planning to get married around September. And I'm thinking, marriage.
Right kids. How are you getting
Okay,
married?
you know, right now you might say kids, but when you look at your age, you're like, it makes sense actually to get married right now. So by a particular age, you've already had kids. Like, so what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah, you can't even find someone. Streets are difficult on you.
You get that. Then there's also the parents. I'm always gonna go back to the parents. Parents are always gonna put pressure on you. Okay, it's not pressure per se, but our parents always have our best interests at heart.
Yes,
but sometimes it's never how they come about telling you, I need you to do this a certain way, I need you to bring in money. That is never the right way to go about it. So it puts a lot of pressure on you. So it gets you to the depressed side of everything.
Before you continue, Maggie, you said that is not the right way to go about it. I want you to tell the parents what is the right way to go about it. Because let's just be honest. These people have given a lot just to see us through the education. Because it's not just them that were promised, not just us who were promised that education is key. They were also promised the same thing. Now, because we're winding up, I want you to just tell the parents, how do you approach this subject? How do you support this child so that they don't go through postgraduate trauma?
You know, I'm going to touch on my parents. I am grateful I really have understanding parents, because when the topic was brought up on what I'm supposed to do the moment I'm done with campus, they were really appreciative over the fact that I told them, you know what, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So please just let me do things step by step. I can't tell you I'll get to point Z when I don't even know how A is supposed to come about. So I feel like parents need to let their kids talk and tell them, you know what, this is what I'm planning to do. This is how I'm planning to do this. So also you as the child, you need to give them something tangible to work with. Yes. In as much as you're telling them, you need to listen to them, you need to give them something tangible. So you're like, you tell them, I'm going to work through A, B, C, D, and then,
no matter how small.
Yes, no matter how small, there's still steps. I'm going to go back to steps, those baby steps. No matter how small, just voice them, tell them, and also parents need to listen to what the kids are saying.
Yes, very importantly. I love the fact that we have young psychologists here, people who are experiencing it, people who can talk to people about it. And one thing we have said that the causes of depression, what pushes you to the edge, are those high expectations. Microwave success. Now, let's put it out there. Success is relative. Your definition of success and my definition of success might be very different. You see me here and you think, well, she is success. I see myself some other place and I think I am not success. So the whole package of success is relative. First thing I think you need to do is define your own success. Second thing is stop expecting microwave success. If things are supposed to happen overnight, they will. If not, they just might not. Have that room that things might not work out. And also talk to these people that are getting on your neck. We talked about boundaries. We said, tell your parents, right now, I'm doing volunteer work. I will keep on applying for jobs. If it is jobs that is, you're not comfortable with the fact that you're jobless, I'll keep applying for jobs, but there's just so much I can do. I would like your support. Okay? Those, I can never do this and that. I can never do sales. I can never sell bread. We are sorry. I am sorry, but we are sorry. Let us appreciate the fact that we have spoken about postgraduate depression and that most of us can relate to its existence. Let us also appreciate the fact that when you know that postgraduate depression exists, you can find a solution to it. Now, unfortunately, that is all the time that we've had for today. I want you to tell us what scenario made you realize that you had postgraduate depression. For me, I noticed I would sleep so much. And when I wake up, I just go back to sleep because I do not have something to look forward to. Or what stood out for you? And what did you do to bounce back? This was The Quench with me, Wangechi Karimi, and I will see you next time.
The Quench, where you ask, we answer.